All right, guys. So it is clear that this is pretty straightforward, and I see that everybody is in agreement with how to calculate the basic wage or the weekly, the wage for the week. All right. All right, let us look at another question. Here we have now a factory worker is paid $156 for a basic week of 40 hours. What would be the hourly rate? So here now we are given the basic week. That means the basic week is 40 hours, and you're given the pay for the week. So the pay for the week is $156. And now from that, you're to determine what the hourly rate would be. Can somebody tell me how you'd go about doing this calculation? Anybody? Miss Green, would you like to attempt?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Shamar. Example 2.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to tell us how to approach this question?
All right, sir. So firstly, we look at the his wage for a week of 40 hours.
Right.
I think you're going to divide it.
What is it you're going to divide?
We're going to divide 156 and 40. So.
Right. So here you want to know how much he works per hour. So the hourly rate is how much he works per hour. So if he works is for the entire 40 weeks. So for 40 hours he worked this. Then how much would he work for 1 hour? Then simply you just divide how much he worked for the entire week and divide it by the amount of hours that he did. All right, so clearly then to get this solution, you would divide how much he worked for the week, which is 156, divided by the number of hours by the week, which is 40, and that gives you the hourly rate. That means he would have worked $3.90 per hour. All right, so that's how we could go about calculate that. Everybody clear on that? Let me see your hand. If you're good with that one. All right, so everybody's good with that, so we can move on. All right, here now, we're going to look now at the overtime. The overtime rate, we say that hourly paid workers are usually paid extra money for working more hours than the basic week demands. Now, the extra money or the extra hours of work are called overtime. Overtime is usually paid at one of the following rates. So you can get time and quarter, you can have time and a half, or you may have double the time. Now, sometimes these overtime rates, it also depends on which day you might be working overtime. So sometimes they might even ask you to come in on weekends and to leave your house on weekend on your personal time to go do the work of your employer. Then they would have to pay you a way lot more than what you would normally earn on a regular week. So clearly for probably a weekend, they would probably want to pay you double time. Sometimes too, when there are holiday season and some persons have to work during the holiday, they would get a different rate for working in the holiday. All right, so they could get either in the rate of this sort. All right, so they seldom they would go more than double, but it depends on the employer and it depends on how important it is for him to get the work done. All right, so these are the overtime rates that are usually given by the employer. So you get 1.25, meaning 1.25 of the basic rate, or 1.5 times the basic rate, are twice the basic rate. All right, let us see how we can calculate this now. So a girl working in a shop is paid a basic rate of $4.32 per hour. Find the rate of pay for overtime in the following cases. If the person work time and quarter, if the person work time and a half, or the person work double. All right, so can you calculate what the overtime rate would be for each of these? And then now we can go through them together. As soon as you're finished calculate them, you just raise your hand and then we walk through the question together. All right, go ahead, guys.
No, I'm not seeing it there.
You're not seeing the screen.
I'm seeing it now.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes what happens is that there's a little delay with the transmission over the internet. So just try the questions and then now we can move on from there. All right, anybody calculate any of these yet? Ms. Clark, how are you today?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. James. I'm in a taxi heading home, but I think I have the answer for the first one. I'm not sure if I'm right. I think it's $5.40. Mhm.
All right, all right. We'll just make a note of your answer and then we'll afterwards. $5.40 is your answer. All right. Anybody else have any other answers, either for the first one or the other two?
The second one.
What you have for the answer?
$4.32.
$4.32. What do you get for the double?
$8.64.
All right, $8.64.
Let me get this one.
All right, let me see if there's anybody in a.
Sir,
Yes, Miss Wilson, what is your answer?
for the second one where it says time and a half, I got $6.48. So I'm not sure.
All right.
But for the other two, for number 1 and 3, I got the same thing for those two.
What
I
this
got
one?
the same answer for the second one, sir. $6.48.
Oh, you got
As well.
All right. So all right, let us just check and see what the answer to be there. All right. So for each, you would multiply the basic rate by the if it's time and quarter, it means that you're multiplying $4.32 by 1 1/4, which is a mixed number, and you can convert that into what we call an improper fraction. So we would multiply 4 times 1 plus 1, that give you 5/4. So you'd have 5/4 for the time and quarter, and then you times that by the basic rate. The basic rate would be $4.32. So you're just simply multiplying this fraction by that and do. So
And sorry, it should be 1.25 and not 1.24.
$4.32. All right, so it is, for the first one is
It should be 1.25.
this one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1.25. Correct. So I need to fix this. All right. So and then now you would multiply and you get the $4.40. Sorry, the $5.40. And the other one would be 1.5 and you get 6.40, correct? And this one will give you twice the amount. So you just multiply by 2, you get $8.64. All right, so that's correct. All right, let me see if I can make the correction to this. All right, maybe afterwards I'll correct it. All right, so everybody is clear on how to calculate the overtime rate. Let me see the hands of those who understand how to calculate the overtime rate now. All right, very good, guys. All right. Now here we have a question. So bearing how to calculate the overtime rate and your basic rate, you're going to now attempt this question. It says John Smith works a 42 hours a week, for which he is paid a basic wage of $113.40. So for 42 hours, he is paid $113.40. He worked 6 hours overtime at time and a half and 4 hours double And then now we are to calculate how much would he get for his overall pay or his gross wage. The gross wage is when you add up his basic wage plus his overtime, the overtime calculation. So you add up all the wages, the basic wage plus the overtime wage, and then you'll get the answer. So, all right, so take just about 2 minutes to calculate that and tell me what's the answer that you get, guys. Anybody has a solution? Ms. Cox, have you completed this question yet?
I'm not finished yet.
Okay. Mr. Ojeno, what about you, sir?
Not as yet.
Ms. Scott, how are you with the question?
Not finished as yet, sir.
Okay. All right, so I'll give you about 2 more minutes. Is anybody ready for me now? Anybody with an answer? This way, some. Ms. Green,
Yes, sir.
finish?
I finished the first part, sir. I'm working out for the double time.
Okay, all right. Anybody else finish? Mr. Campbell?
Not yet, sir. Last part minute.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes, sir.
How far you reach?
The last part.
Okay. All right, who wants to start me off with this? Who is confident enough to start off?
So the first thing you would do is you divide the 42 by the $113.40.
You divide 42 by this.
Yes, sir.
You mean that you have 42, then you divide
No, so,
13.
the numerator will be 113
Oh, so you have
and 40.
113 divided by 42.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, my question is why would you divide by 42? What are you finding when you divide 113.40 by 42? What is it that you would be finding?
The how much
The hourly
the hour
rate?
rate, sir?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
but if you check the question, they are not asking you for the hourly rate for the basic rate, you know. They want you to calculate the gross wage. That means his weekly salary plus his overtime. That's what they're asking him for. You follow? So
Yes, sir.
you already know that this is what he works for the week. So all you need to do is to calculate the overtime money and add it to this. And so you will get the gross. The gross is when you add up all the money that he should get together. So how much money should he get? He has 6 hours at which he works time and a half. He has another 4 hours that he does double time. So he has his basic salary is 6 hours overtime at time and a half and 4 hours at double time. All right. Everybody's following so far?
Sir,
Yes.
let me share what I have, but I'm not sure myself if I am correct.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Listener.
All right, so for the first part now, I have the same 113 to calculate. The first part said 6 hours, 6 hours overtime at time and a half. So I have $113.40 times 1.5 which would give me $170.10, and then I multiply that by 6, and I got 1,020.60.
You're not on the right track.
Okay.
Right.
Sir, did I get it right?
What you did, Miss Clark? I didn't look at what you have in the chat.
I put it in the chat, sir. I think I got $152.
All right. So tell us what you did. I have not done the calculation yet, so I'm just speculating.
All right, first thing I did, sir, I divided 42 into 113.
All right.
And I'm not quite sure I remember what I got because I'm still on the road. And then after I did that, the answer I get from that, then I multiplied it by 6. No, after I did that, got the answer for that, then I divided it, divide half of it, and then added the half to the first answer that I got for the time and a half. And then after that, I multiply it by 6.
All right.
And then for the second one, the first part that I got, I multiply 2 times to get the overtime, double time,
Right.
and then added everything together.
All right. So so Mr. Giovanni was actually taking the same approach. But I asked him the question, why is he dividing this? Because I wanted to hear what his response would be. But he didn't seem sure of himself. So Mr. Giovanni, what is your approach now?
So I may divide the 42 into the 113 and 40 cents.
All right. So in order to be able to calculate the overtime rate, you really need to know what the hourly rate is, right?
Yes, sir.
So you would have divided this by the 42 to get your hourly rate. Or the hourly rate, you would now have to times it by, for the 6
overtime
by time and a half. So you times the hourly rate by time and a half. And that would be the rate for the 6 hours. So time and a half of the hourly rate, then you would get the overtime rate. And now you would multiply that overtime rate by the $6 for the time and a half. And then now you would also, from the hourly rate, you would calculate the double rate or the double time, which would be twice the hourly rate. Anyways, it's kind of unclear what I'm saying without doing it. So let me do it and show what is happening. So first, your basic rate, our basic hourly rate would be $2.70. So that is what he would get for his weekly rate for the 42-hour week. Now, he has 2 overtimes. He has overtime for 6 hours at time and a half. So you have to come for the rate for the time and a half now would be 1.5 times the $2.70, which is $4.05. So that is the overtime rate for the 6 hours. So now the overtime rate for the double time is 2 times the hourly rate, which is $5.50. So now what we need to do now, he did 6 hours for the time and a half. So you'd have to multiply this 6 now by $4.05. And then the other 4 hours now, you have to multiply by the $5.40. So the gross wage going to be the basic wage. So his basic wage was the $113.40 plus 6 times the $4 5 cents plus 4 times the $5.40. And you do that calculation now, you will get 13.40 plus 24. So for the 6 hours, you would have made $24.30. For the 4 hours, he would have made $21.60. When you add up all of those, he would have made for that week $159.30. Let me see the answer those who got that answer. I think, let me see what Miss Clark got.
So I didn't get that exact answer, but I was closer because I was on the road. That's why.
All right.
It's on the go.
Anybody else get that answer? Let me see the answer those who got the answer. All right, cool. Let me see those who are clear on what is happening. Did you got the answer, Mr. Giovanni?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Sir, I got it for the two, for the first part. It's just for the last part, the gross wage. That's the part I never.
Right.
I'm not so clear on.
All right. So the gross wage is the basic wage plus the overtime wages. So and so this is the part of the question that you were really expected to answer. All right. So let us see now. So we are through with this topic. All right, I don't really want to start another topic now. So I want to talk a little bit about the approach that I will be taking. I will just discuss how I will be dividing the groups for the SBA. All right. Now we need only 5 persons the most to a group. It can be less than 5, but no more than 5. Right. So I'll have to divide the groups in that category. Now, in the division process, I will select persons for the group. Now, why I'm going to be selecting? Because I know in this situation it wouldn't be wise to have you choose who you want to go in your group, because since you're going to be working in a group and you're going to have a certain amount of weight to carry, I want to be able to group persons who are pretty much strong enough together to make the SBA work, right? So I don't want to just have people selected randomly in a group. So what I'll be doing, you'll be getting a test next week, Tuesday. And I will select persons to go into the group based on the results from the test. So I need everybody to do this test so that I can place you in a group. If you don't do the test, I can't place you into any group whatsoever. Is that clear? Is that clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sir,
Yes. Question.
sir, the test will be everything that we have covered already.
Right. So I will have the test go up until probably ratio. What we would have done on the consumer arithmetic, I probably would leave that for the next test. But the test would be everything that you would have done from the beginning up to ratio. All right, guys. Any question about that? So what you'll do, and
What time is the test, sir?
you'll do the test on Tuesday. The test won't be for the entire duration of the class. So what I will do is I will have the first hour, we'll have regular class, and then the second hour. So this test would be at 7 o'clock. And you will only get 1 hour in which to complete it. Is that clear, guys?
Sir, multiple choice, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll give you a multiple.
Okay.
All right, so you'll get 1 hour in which to complete it. Any other question?
I will text you outside of the group, sir.
All right, no problem, no problem. All right, so with that said, we'll be putting you in groups. So we'll be doing the test. After the test, I will select persons to be in the group, and then now by next week Thursday we'll do that selection. So you'll do the test on Tuesday. I'll make the selection Thursday, and then from there now you would be able to choose your group leader, have your discussion surrounding the topic that you want to choose for your SBA. Let me see the hands of those who would have gone to the SBA menu and actually view the guidelines and the topics and the sample SBA already. Let me see the hands of those who have done that. All right, so it is important that you take the time out to do that, because you want to have a sense of what you're going to be doing and a sense of which topic you would really like to do. When you survey all the topics, when you meet as a group, you will discuss the topics based on which one you feel you can work with. Now, I will be putting you in different WhatsApp group. So you'll be working in WhatsApp groups. So I'll be creating groups for each SBA. All right, so whenever you're placed in that group. Now, there's also the part of the SBA where you have to work in Google Form. Now, our Google document. How many of you have any experience in creating Google document? Let me see your hand. All right, I should ask the question. How many of you don't have any experience in creating Google document? Let me see your hand. Persons who don't have any experience in creating Google document. All right. So I will guide you through the process of creating Google document. The Google document will be like a Word document, and you can stay from wherever and add to the document. So each person will have access to the document and they can add to the document. While you are adding to the document, it will be one document. So while you're